I hope you've enjoyed the module so far. You're now probably much more familiar about the disruptive behavior phenomenon, its causes, its manifestations, and its consequences. You also understand that it's important to address them when they occur and ideally to prevent them before they occur. But a big question remains: how? The remainder of the module will present you strategies to address disruptive behavior, but also to improve communication in general and to solve conflicts and difficult situations. And what about our own behavior? As discussed earlier, disruptive behavior probably lies on a continuum at the end of which you would find an ideal of respect, professionalism, and collegiality. So rather than just avoiding becoming disruptive, it's probably much more positive to strive to be as professional as we can in our daily life. The important is not to be perfect. We've all had some bad days sometimes. But the important would be to do our best and to try to be aware of how our behavior can affect others in our daily life. In this section, we'll provide you with our top 10 tips to be a great team player. If you're able to follow these in your learning environment, chances are that you will earn the respect of your colleagues, supervisors, and team members, and also that you'll be contributing to make your environment more nurturing and collegial. And how about dealing with disruptive behavior, whether it is intimidation, abuse, or neglect of one's duties? This is not necessarily an easy thing. It's often easier to just wait or ignore, to leave it to someone else, or to tough your time out. But there's a cost to your learning and to patient care. The most important thing to remember is probably do not ignore it. For instance, you could clarify if it's just a misunderstanding. You could also address the situation directly with the individual if you feel comfortable to do so. Actually, the desk models that you'll be exposed to might actually help you in that respect. You can also talk to a peer, to a mentor, a supervisor you trust. If needed, you can call your physician health program or your resident organization. But do not ignore it. It will not just go away. Another thing to remember is that the difficult colleague is sometimes a colleague in difficulty, especially if there was a recent or sudden change in behavior. By addressing the problem, you might actually be providing this colleague with the help he or she needs. On those words, I'll let you go back to your module and I hope you find it helpful.